You don't have to spend a great deal of time thinking about what the Bible teaches about love to realize that there's quite a disconnect between the biblical version of love and the variety of love that we earthlings tend to discuss and exhibit. In fact, before we as individuals can ever really come in contact with God's cosmic love, most of us are in need of some re-education on the topic. As with most things we attempt to conceptualize, our definitions are too small, our ideas too finite to grasp the fullness of God's love. Here's the new math again. If God is love and God is infinite, then God's love is infinite. So let's talk about love as best we can. I am sure you have at some point been forced to endure some or other Bible teachers romp through the Greek language, which is just one more indicator of how incompletely our finite human language can wrap itself around God. And most likely, said romp was in regard to the use of various Greek words which are translated into the English word love. Well, get ready because I'm going to do it to you again. But I hope this will give a different take on things and help us all to have a better understanding of the way we humans conceptualize love versus God's take on it. I want to address the same two words that normally get the lion's share of attention, Eros and Agape. Eros, which doesn't even appear in the Bible, is usually equated summarily with erotic and sexual love. However, it's not that simple. Eros was a variety of love which the Greeks preferred to apply to affection for inanimate objects, like one might love their car or love pizza. That Eros affection is based in emotions and feelings. Eros love esteems desire above the needs of others. Think about pizza. I love pizza. How do I demonstrate my love for pizza? I bite it, chew it, and digest it, removing all the nutrients I can for my own benefit and then expel whatever's left. Eros is conditional. If I'm hungry and I have money, I love pizza. It's convenient, suits my schedule, I love pizza. If all those conditions aren't met, I'll probably just eat something else. Eros love is temporary. When the conditions are right, I love pizza. However, I'm only going to love pizza until pizza meets my need, my desire. In fact, as my desire is met, while I'm still eating pizza, my love for pizza will gradually be in decline. Eventually, I'll be full, and my love for pizza will have grown cold. Sometimes if I eat too much pizza, I won't even want to look at it anymore. And that after having been so in love maybe 30 minutes earlier. There is no problem with feeling this way about pizza, or a car, or a new song that you've just heard. In fact, it's pretty natural. The problem is that we live in a culture which has taught us from birth and reinforced every single day since then that this is an appropriate way to love other human beings. And that ain't right. Now, agape. Agape love, or as I like to call it, cosmic love, is God's perfect expression of love. Now, I know as you do that we human beings are not prepared to deliver perfection on any level. However, that should never hinder us from doing the very best we can, in the most excellent way we can. We as humans have nasty habits. Among them is the ability to figure out what the acceptable minimum is and then try to fudge on that. The problem for the believer is that God makes Christ the standard. We are to be conformed to the image of Christ. Jesus makes God the standard. Be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. The New Testament talks a great deal about being made perfect. More often than not, the Greek word isn't talking about perfection as we think of it. The word actually means complete. So then, the hope of understanding God's agape or cosmic love is not that we will love as perfectly as He does, but in hopes that our understanding, experience, and expression of His love will be as fully complete as possible. Agape is the perfect love of God, which God is the full and essential expression of. He intends agape to be the ideal or model of love we express toward other human beings. However, agape is not that warm, fuzzy emotional experience that we often characterize as love. That doesn't mean that agape love never occurs along with that emotional earmark. But the emotional aspect is not, I repeat, not agape love. God's agape love is not an emotional response. It is an act of will, a conscious decision we make to express love to another human being. That kind of flies in the face of what we believe about the flowery penchant of romantic love, full of poetry, magic, fluttering eyelids. In fact, we tend to balk at the rather mechanical, clinical agape. It seems to refute the ethereal, fatalistic ideal our culture embraces. I challenge you to think about agape and its characteristics and see if it doesn't seem to you that practicing agape love is a far nobler endeavor than being tossed to and fro upon the waves of tingles, fireworks, and rainbows. Agape is generous. Agape love always seeks the best for the other person. The object of agape love is always esteemed ahead, above, and beyond self. Agape love is always looking for ways to give itself away, to sacrifice for the benefit of the other person. Agape love is unconditional. Agape love is always in effect. Time, circumstances, inconvenience, and condition do not change, limit, or stop agape love. Agape love is infinite. Since agape love is never given in hopes of receiving some type of satisfaction or payoff, emotional or otherwise, the giver doesn't feel let down, unappreciated, or shortchanged. In fact, due to God's reciprocal nature, the more you give agape love away, the more you sense God's agape love working through you, and the more energized you feel to continue to love others. A dear friend of mine said it to me this way: the hose gets wet first. Burt Bacharach was right. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. We can tap right into the ultimate source.